Keji.
Good morning, everybody. I need to know foundation. I want to say I'm honored to be here this morning. It's a great privilege and honor. And I trust God that God will be able to say one or two things that will help us. I'll be speaking on the topic 21st century parenting. 21st century parenting. All the parents that are here, including myself, we cross over from 20th century to 21st century. And it can be so dangerous if we want to try to use what we learned and knew in the 20th century to bring up children in the 21st century. Don't worry, when I'm running over, I will just share one or two things about my life. You just saw those pictures. And I know some people are looking, is it the same person? Yeah, it's the same person. But I didn't just get there. So you need to understand that. Parenting is not about, normally you hear parents say, I buy their clothes, I give them food, I buy phone, I buy this for them. Their room has a flat television, I subscribe for them. What else do they want? You have not given them anything if that's all you are giving them. You are just giving them toys. And mind you, some of those toys can even destroy them. Things like the phone, the computer, because the internet is what I refer to as the tree of good and evil in the Garden of Eden. God actually warned Adam, don't eat from that tree. So in the internet, it's like that. The internet is filled with churches and messages, but at the same time, it is filled with a lot of garbages that can destroy our children. So parenting is not about buying toys for your children, sending them to the best schools and all that. It's a serious job. It's an assignment. The great people you hear about all over the whole world were raised by parents. They were raised by parents. So the way you raise your child will determine who he becomes in life, not just where you send your child. Because most importantly, most of the places that your children are going to go later in life, they are volatile environments. For instance, take the school campus, for instance. Is it not a volatile environment? There is no campus in Nigeria where there's no drug market. Cultism is there. Prostitution is there. Now you just send your child there because you think you brought him to church, you dedicated him in church, so he went through church, so he's supposed to know how to behave without you putting anything into the child. So parenting is about teaching a child, instructing a child, inspiring a child, and finally role modeling for the child. Because children watch what you do more than what you say. Role modeling for the child. How you been living. For instance, do you know that children that are raised in a home where the daddy and mommy, they are always fighting physically and quarreling, you have destroyed something in their future. A whole lot of things are destroyed. Because when such a child goes to school and hears some other children like himself talking about their families, and he realizes that their family is peaceful, it's nice, it's quiet, it's different from his own family, something happens to him psychologically. He starts to feel, what is happening in my own home? What is wrong with my daddy? What is wrong with my mommy? And eventually, it will also affect his academic performance. Because remember, every of this thing is doing it inside his mind. And he needs that mind to focus on his studies. So this morning, like I said, I'll be speaking on 21st century parenting. But the topic I will take, there are a lot of topics on that, is steps to motivating your teenager. First of all, who is a teenager? The word teenage starts from the age of 11. At the age of 11, we call them infant adolescent. Then infant adolescent terminates at 14. Then from 15 to 18, we call them young adolescent. Then from 18 to 23, we call them young adults. Now, why is it expedient you know this age circle? Some of us think that if your child is 16 and is 6 feet tall, you start to assume that he's a man. He's supposed to know what to do. Meanwhile, you have not taught him anything. Nothing you have taught him. Right? Now, why is it important you know this age? Because the brain of an adolescent keeps developing until he is 23 years old. And the last part of the brain to develop is the frontal cortex. That is the place the child uses for decision making. So you find out a teenager is a child that is not yet an adult, is in between teenage and adult. So there's a particular age when he starts to ask a lot of questions. That's from the age of 15. He starts to ask a lot of questions. And most of the time, parents are not there to answer these questions because of the busy schedule that we have. I spoke somewhere in Magodo, and a young girl came to me, very big. You would think she's about 25. She's 15. And she said, "Sir, can you be my father?" I said, "What about your father and mother?" He said, "I don't have." I said, "Are they dead?" He said, "No." I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "They are never there to answer anything." She said, "Before I lose my virginity, there was pressure in school. So every day when my mom comes and say, 'Mommy, I want to see,' I say, no, can't you see I'm busy? Please go and meet your daddy." I go to my daddy, "Leave me, I'm busy. For 3 weeks, none of my parents sat to hear what I have to say. On the 4th week, I yielded. So I had to get the contact number of the parents, and we started talking, and the relationship went ahead from that. Now, teenager lacks motivation, focus, and direction. Do you feel that like your teenager doesn't work hard enough? Do you feel like your teenager doesn't have a plan for the future? Do you feel like your teenager hasn't taken full responsibility for his or her life? Is your teenager rebelling? Are there mothers here that are getting frustrated by the behaviors of their teenagers? Are you getting frustrated? Have you asked your son, what do you want to become in life, and he's just looking at you? Or today we say, "I want to be a doctor." Tomorrow he say, "I want to be a lawyer." Next tomorrow he say, "I want to be an actor." Then he say, "I want to be a footballer." He say, "I want to be a musician." That means he doesn't know what he wants to become. Have you ever asked your child? Or you have what you want him to become. That's another matter. Because in this part of the world, we try to tell our parents, our children, what we want them to become. That was then, not in the 21st century. You don't do that now. So like our host said, you cannot learn anything unless you first unlearn. Because some of the things I'll be saying, you might get offended. If you get offended, it means you are not ready to unlearn anything. You want to continue that way. And I can tell you, if you try to use the 20th century information to bring up your children in 21st century, you will be sorry later on in life. You can see all the things that are happening. Children using machetes to cut off their father's head. It started since 5 years now, it has continued till now. And when we were shouting about this, nobody wanted to listen. We were like nuisance, saying things that will never happen. So how do I motivate my teenager? I have some points here. Number 1, focus on effort and progress, not performance. Focus on effort and progress, not performance. Many parents are concerned about, I want my child to carry first in the school. Performance. It's okay. And because of that, they start tracking everything. It's okay to track how they are doing in their exams, curricular activities, and physical development. But when parents overemphasize performance, the teens only focus on performance and not progress. Focus on progress. You are here telling your child, I want you to come out first in the class. You are not finding out whether the boy does his homework regularly. In fact, some mothers have never opened their child's notebook before. Never. You have not even found out whether he gets to school at the right time. You are not sure whether he stays in classes. You don't want to know whether he's struggling with some issues. And even when you find out, you don't know how to attend to them. Please, what does it mean to focus on progress? Let your child know that life is a continuous journey of learning, improving, and developing. If your child comes home with the worst result, don't scream and shout and start to abuse him. Welcome him home. Smile. Tell him he will do better next time. Then find a conducive time to sit him down and have a calm discussion, which is something parents don't do with children in the 20th century. Who born you to tell your papa, say, Daddy, let us discuss in our time? Your opinion is not important. And some of us here, is the same thing we are doing with these children. It's not going to work. It's never going to work. Results are important, but the growth process is far more important. Research shows that when they focus on the process, they achieve even better results. Teens who believe in outcome end up basing their self-worth on performance. So acknowledge the effort and attitude that your teen demonstrates. Whatever attitude and the effort your child is putting in, acknowledge it and then motivate him to put in more effort. This will encourage your teen to concentrate on what he or she can control. And what is that? Behavior and attitude. Her behavior and her attitude towards her academy and life will change because you are discussing. You are telling her you are trying. What was the last time you told your son or your daughter, I am proud of you? Especially if the boy is misbehaving. Misbehaving big time. You can say that. Number 2, how do I motivate my child? Involve your teenager in the process. What does that mean? Many teenagers feel as if their opinion does not matter because their parents often make decisions on their behalf. For an African man, he say, what is wrong with that? You don't make decisions on their behalf. You discuss with them. The world is changing. You discuss with them. This tells these young people that their thought and opinion counts. Now, instead of nagging and scolding and imposing ban on television watching, many of us say, I don't want you to watch cartoon again. Imposing ban on phone, you seize their phone with anger, with screaming. Give me that phone. It's because of this phone you are not passing your exams. I'm sure some of you have started discovering yourself now. Oh yeah, carry that computer and go and put it in my room. I don't want to see with you again. Her computer, her phone. Just because they are not doing their homework or whatever. What you need to do is to sit down with them and have a calm discussion. A what? Calm discussion. A lot of parents will say to me, How come they open up to you? They don't talk to us. Because you live with them as Idi Amin and Uganda lived. They are not your friends. You have never come to their level. Some of us never sat down with our children on the floor as they were growing up and play with them on the floor, roll on the floor with them. We were doing ogas and madams. If you fail to do that, then you are not their friend. You didn't get to their level. A young woman was confused, irritated by her daughter's performance in school. And then after hearing this teaching, she decided to do what I advised. Sit down and have a calm discussion with your daughter. So this woman sat down with the daughter and said, how come you don't do your homework? What is wrong with you? What is your problem? And the girl said, Mom, I am a morning person. I am a what? Morning person. Do you even know what that means? I'm very active in the morning, than afternoon and evening. Some of us don't even know the mood of our children. We've not found out their IQ. So the mother said, what does that mean? He said, Mom, help me to sleep very early. Then I can wake up early to do my homework. So she wakes up 3:30, 4 o'clock. And her mind is calm. She does her homework. And her grade improve. When last did you discuss with your child? You know, in Africa, the only time we discuss with our children is when they offend us. And that's not discussion. It becomes rebuke, abuse. Isn't it? Check yourself. As long as the boy have not offended, there's no discussion. But the day he just does something wrong, come here. Look at your head. This is what you did. In 19 this, in 19 that. That's not discussion. The boy is not going to listen to anything. And at the end, you say, this boy is becoming rebellious. Number 3, ask your teenager to make commitments. Your teenager must choose to be a great student and commit to putting in the effort necessary. Because you cannot help him put the effort. You let the child make commitment. We become great by choice and commitment. Let your teenager have the final say in matters that involve which subject combination. Don't choose subject combination for your child. It worked in our time. It can't work now. Listen to me. I rehabilitate drug addicts. I just finished a course. I'm about to go into another one talking about prevention. You know, there's a popular phrase that says prevention is better than cure. When you do rehabilitation, you are doing treatment. It's not prevention. You are trying to get somebody that will be taking drug out. And anytime we get 10 people out, in less than 6 months, like 6 will go back. Why? The brain has software and hardware. If the drugs they are taking has destroyed the software, they might not go back. But they have destroyed the hardware. It's only God's mercy that will deliver that person. So we decided, so let's go into prevention. So who are we targeting in prevention? Children in primary and secondary schools, teenagers, because their brain is still developing. So there are certain information and skills we build in them that will make them stand anywhere. You cannot pressure them. You know, we used to say people go into drug because of peer pressure. It's not everybody that can be peer pressure. When a child has developed certain skills in his psychology, you can't peer pressure him. He will feel good drinking his water while you are drinking your Hennessy. You can't tell him you are a mugu. This is just say, hey, don't worry, just don't worry. I enjoy this one. So we found out that most children that goes into drugs in the universities and all that, many of them are people that are not doing what they want. They are not studying what they had wanted to study. They are the ones that the parents forced, told, this is what I want you to be. Can't you see Lagbaja's son? This is what I want you to do. Now listen to me and listen good, sir. If your child comes and say, I want to read economics, Sit down and think. Why did he? He knows he can perform there. He knows it's comfortable. Then you say, no. You carry the economy. My friend's son is reading medicine. This boy knows he can't do medicine. That's why he went to economy in the first place. Now you force him. Probably even use money to make sure they took him into that department. Now he goes to school. Do you know the books in medical science? So stress comes. He can't read. His grades are not rising. He's disturbed. He can't sleep. And then there are some boys that have been through that experience and they have found solution. What is the solution? They are using drugs. Because when a child is not performing, he's scared of his father, he's scared of the mother. How will I go home and tell them I cannot pass another? He's worried, he can't sleep, he doesn't want to go to class. His friends say, don't worry. I was like that. Why are you worrying yourself? There's something I will give you, not even bother yourself. And what is that? Drugs. Number 4. Speak positively about your teenager in front of others. Speak what? Positively about your teenagers in front of what? Others. Don't say things like, my son is lazy. My son is not serious. My daughter is lazy. My daughter is not serious. In the presence of their teenage friends or in the presence of your family friends. Don't say such things. Remember, I'm talking about motivating your children in the 21st century. All this is I'm telling you not to do. Every time you are doing it, you are demotivating them. You don't want them to succeed. And you are in church praying, Lord, make my son succeed. Meanwhile, you are the major factor that is destroying the plan of the child succeeding. You are killing his morale. Destroying his self-esteem. He sees himself as a useless person because of the things you say. Yes, you know it's true that he's lazy. Don't say it in the public. Why? That boy or girl will become bitter and resentful. Bitterness and resentfulness demotivates teenagers. They have a way of becoming what they hear. Give them good reputation to live up to, and they will stay motivated. See, I said I will share a little bit of my story when I'm rounding off. Because people see me holding mic here, I'm teaching. But those who were here when they were playing those things will be wondering, how did I cross over from that kind of failed life to where I am now? I had to unlearn and relearn. My parents were not there to teach me again. And it's not every child that will have the liver to relearn. Most of the time, when people's life are shattered, they say, well, this is my fate. But I refused. I said, no, this can't be my fate. Something went wrong somewhere. I need to correct it. Mention some of the good and positive behavior your teenager has been demonstrating. The good things you say about them, they will do more. The bad things you say, they will do more of the bad things. It is wrong for you to call your child Olodo. He will become one. Because of the way their brain is wired. He will say to himself, they have said I'm Olodo, so what is in it? I know I can't pass. So when his friends on campus say, let's go for lecture, I say, I'm not going. You people can go. You go and sit down in beer parlor or India hemp joint. Speak positively about your teenager in front of you. Number 5, show your teenager you love him regardless of performance. Regardless of what? Performance. Show your teenager you don't discriminate. You know, some of us, if one child is doing very fine in school and the other is doing fine, when you buy things, you say, yes, the reason I bought you this small one is because you are not doing fine. Your brother is excellent. Don't do that. I've heard this from young people. They say, it seems my parents loves me more when I do well in school. No. That should not be the reason why you should love them more. You should just love them unconditionally. They came out of it. Let me tell you, a girl told the father, she's back in Unilag now. She's retaking some papers. When the father said, look at you, you are Olodo. He told the father, I'm Olodo. Are you not the one that gave birth to me? And he told the father, did you not tell me that you wrote jam 5 times? You see, we parents, we lie a lot. We have a way of telling our children that when I was in school, I was always taking first. And out of 10 of us that say so, 9 never took even third. No, let's think about it. Don't you think a part of you is inside that child? A part of you is in that child. Just because you have grown up, you have developed, you now want the child to automatically be like you? Is it not said that nobody is perfect? Why do we always expect perfection from these children that are growing, that have a lot of questions that we don't even have the answers to? I want to ask you, when last did you read a book on parenting? I asked this question in VGC, in one church. Because one woman was saying, hey, we have trained these children, we have prayed for them, we are spending for them. What else do they want us to do? I said, madam, you have not done enough. And then I asked, madam, when last did you read a book on parenting? And she did like this. She has never read one. Now, if you have never read a book on parenting, how are you going to parent a child? I will tell you how exactly you parent a child. Remember, I mentioned teaching, inspiring, and all that, and I also mentioned role modeling. Who trained you? Your mother. How? She modeled for you. And you want to carry that role modeling into 21st century. Exactly the same way your mother replies you when you ask her why. He says, shut up! How dare you ask me why? You want to use that in 21st century? This is why these boys are using cutlass to cut off their father's head. Stabbing their father and mother and sister. When somebody asks why, you give answer. But because we have refused to learn, we don't even know the answers to give. We are not learning. We don't like learning. Look at this hall is empty and it's a parenting conference and there are parents all over this place. They are telling us, what are they going to teach? Some of them are millionaires. They are those poor people, they want to gather. They've forgotten that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. The Bible says a man of knowledge increases in strength. What you don't know, you don't know. Sir, if you are 40 years old, you have never learned how to drive. And a 14-year-old boy has gone to driving school and learned how to drive. And the boy drives into where you are 40. And you say, this small boy is driving 14 and I'm 40. If he can drive, I can drive too. And you have never learned. If they give you the key, what will happen to you? That's how powerful learning is. That we are getting old does not mean we are learning. You must make conscious effort. What about the fathers? When last did you read any book on parenting? By now you are supposed to say, I've read 10. 10. Meanwhile, you are carrying phone, computer, laptop, pad. You cannot go and search for how to take care. When you go and see your friend in Banana Island, and your friend say, I just bought my children iPhone 11. You have the money. You say, that is parenting. On your way back, you buy iPhone 11 and come and supply the children. I've not still find out if parents in Nigeria knows that there is a way you can monitor everything your children does on the internet, whether they are here or abroad. Everything they do, you will see them. Everything they do on the internet, you see. So show your teenager you love them regardless of performance. It's okay to encourage your children to pursue excellence, but at the same time, parents should display unconditional love. I walked into my daughter's school and I saw one of my friends, a politician, and it was prize giving day. And the man said, see, my son did not even receive any prize. I said, so what? Is he passing his exams? Yes. I said, don't demoralize him. There are people that took first in schools those days that died as paupers because they were pursuing performance, not process. Process is when you tell the child that when fire comes, this is how to pass through it. Skills, building them. So allow your teen to make mistake. That's number 7. And experience discomfort. Allow them to make mistake and experience discomfort. All parents want their children to be perfect, but no one is perfect. Through mistakes, teenagers learn and grow. So allow them to make plenty of errors. Unless if what they are about to do is unethical, criminal, or physically dangerous. Then occasionally, the next one, say, I am proud of you to your teenager. Even if the boy is bad and reckless. When last did you say that to your child? You are always speaking the wrong things he's doing. You have never said to your child, I'm proud of you. So who is going to be proud of him? The Indian hemp smokers on the street. You see young boys say, oh boy, I believe you die. I believe you die. On the street, in street language. Why did he believe him die? He just break bottle on somebody's head. He said, oh boy, I believe you die. You're strong, you're tough. Because nobody is telling him at home, I believe you. My son, you are my son, I believe in you. You are taking over this family from me. You have excellent spirit. Just keep working. We are motivating them. Not, I don't even want to see your results. It has nothing to talk about. Then let natural consequences run their course. Do your homework, clean up your room, don't be late to school, study harder, nagging and nagging, it will not help anything. The more you nag your child, the more the child gets spoiled. It gets to a point, see, many of you don't know that your children gang up against you. In the room, they say, this house is quiet today. Oh. This house is quiet today. Where is mommy? He's downstairs. They say, don't wait, well, let's see. That one will just come and do something. Hey, you have started again. Hey, wait. The boy will run and say, have you heard? The house is hot now. You don't know. You don't know. You think you are doing okay? Let natural consequence run a course. Constant nagging does not make a teen change their behavior. They might ignore the nagging and rebel. Natural consequence. What is that? Don't bail your child out if he forgets to wash his uniform. If your child says, I don't want to go to school today, find out the reason why. If you find out it's because his clothes are not well ironed, don't quickly say, let me help you iron it. Don't do for your child what they are supposed to do for themselves. Many millionaires and billionaires, their children don't know how to do anything. They forget, because there's another course I teach on 21st century parenting that I talk about. The skills your children need to have just before they go into the university. You forget that your housemate is not going to follow your child to the university campus. You forget that the cook is not going to follow him to the university campus. Your child does not know how to fix a button when he pulls out of his shirt. He doesn't even know how to iron. You just buy things for him and send him on campus. Then he gets there. Every day, everybody is abusing him. You are a fool. You don't have sense. And before you know it, the boy comes home, is completely useless. And you are wondering why. Because you didn't play your role. You didn't play your role. And when natural consequences run its course, no, if your child refuses to wash his clothes and he goes to school, of course, some students will be laughing at him and abusing him. He will feel bad. He might even go and cry somewhere. And then he will learn from that no, I will never come to school again with dirty clothes. Stop bailing your children out of what they are supposed to do. And when natural causes take place, don't ever tell your child, I told you, I told you, I told you. It's not good. Refrain from telling them, I told you. One thing you must know is that teenagers always feel that they are at war with their parents. They always have that feeling. That's why even if they want to talk to you, there's a way they keep their face. Unless you let them know that there is no war. Sit down. I'm your dad. I'm your mom. Let's talk. Don't stop telling your teenagers, I know what is best for you. This will be hard for many of us because you are the one making the money and you are older than him, you are the father. You know, stop telling your teenager, I know what is best for you. This phrase is not persuasive. You are telling your child, I know what is best for you. That's why I want you to go and read law. Your child is saying, how can he say know what is best for me when I know that I can't pass law? I know myself. It's not persuasive. It causes teenagers to disengage and switch off. Anytime you want to discuss with your child and say, I know what is best for you, they will just sit down there and pretend they are listening to you. They are not listening. I don't know how many of us have such kids. But learn these things today. It will be hard. You have to start to practice because it's never too late. It's never too late. Whenever your teenager wants to make a major decision, have a calm discussion with him. Then respond best when the kids respond best when their parents see things from their perspective. I encourage you to listen, really listen, not just wait for them to finish and then exert your authority and express your views. Even some of us that our children want to talk to, once the child says, Daddy, I want to talk to you, that's when you pick the remote. The boy is talking, you are pressing remote. Now, if you were the one talking to him and he picks the remote, what will you say? No, answer me. What will you say? You will get angry. Say, I'm talking to you, I'm pressing TV. Now he wants to talk to you. He has pain. You are pressing remote. What do you think he's saying in his mind? He can't say it out. My dad is not interested in my life. He doesn't even know what I want to say. Let me tell you, you are pushing that child out of the house. And at the end, you will not let pastors rest. Push them out. Show respect to your teenagers. I'm not saying you should be a pushover, but I'm suggesting that you set boundaries and expectations, but do so respectively. Obedience comes at the expense of the parent-child relationship. You can't monitor them 24/7. When you have a good relationship, wherever they are, they know what they are not supposed to do and what they are supposed to do. It's when there's no relationship. That's where there's a breakdown. Anytime they are not where you are. Some teenagers may completely change their behavior when their parents are not around. Your child can come home, attend all the services during holidays, whereas in school, he doesn't go to school fellowship. In fact, before you discover that your child is smoking Indian hemp, he would have done it for 5 years. 10. He has become careless. For the first 3-4 years, he knows how to hide it, package it. But when he becomes careless, that's when you see it. And you know that the first time you see Indian hemp with your child, what will he say? It's my friend. It's my friend. It's my friend. And you believe him. So how do I respect my child? Number one, when your child wants to talk to you, your full attention when they are speaking. Forget TV, phone, computer. In fact, off your phone. And the boy will say, at least my dad is listening to me. Number 2, don't speak as if he or she is stupid. He might say a stupid thing. Don't look at him like, no. Number 3, don't abuse your teenager verbally, emotionally, or physically. Let me tell you, one of the strongest abuses is actually verbal abuse. Things like Olodo, you don't have sense, you are stupid, you are timid. They are very bad. Because our Lord Jesus Christ says, the words that I speak to you, they are spirit and they are life. You are the father, you are the mother. As you are telling him you are stupid, you are conditioning him for stupidity. You are releasing the spirit of stupidity into the life of that child. Show them basic courtesy. Ask for his opinion. Involve them in important decisions. The next one says, don't compare your teenager with others. They don't like it. And our parents were good at that. When they want to scold you, can't you see Mr. Bakare's son? Can't you see Sister Fumilayo's daughter? They don't like it. I am me. But that's how we were trained. Comparing them with others make them feel they are not good enough. You are telling them you are not good. And they will decide to be like that. And you know why you must learn this thing is that, I have 2 minutes. Why you must learn these things is because many parents now have high blood pressure because of their children. Okay? Then model good behavior before them. And at the end of every lecture, tell them, show them love. And tell them you love them. Then lastly, don't try to achieve your unfulfilled dream through your child. That one is rampant here. Don't try. Let the child dream his own dream. I am lucky enough today to be married and have children and have grandchildren. But if I tell you that I have grandchildren, I have two grandsons now. God is moving. But if you look at my history, it shouldn't be. I dropped out of school at the age of 16 and I went straight to Kalakuta Republic. So Fela trained me. I'm a Fela boy. That's the picture you were seeing of me and Fela on stage. I play piano, keyboard, and I play keyboard and guitar for Fela. And I was with him for 15 years. We traveled around the whole world. But after 15 years, I just discovered that I was a mess. There was no future. Okay? So I decided to unlearn and learn. Okay? I decided to unlearn and learn. The best gift you can give to me, books. That's the best gift you can give to me. I like building capacity. So parents, I have a book there that I will recommend for us. Please, sir, help me pick that book on that stool. Because I'm dropping here. Why do they act that way? Every parent should buy this book. Why do they act that way? By David Walsh, PhD. David Walsh. David Walsh, W-A-L-S-H. I just ordered this 4 weeks ago from the UK. Okay? If I must respect you, if I come to your house, I don't care whether you have bar or whatever. If I don't see a library, I just see that this person, you don't know what you are doing. Remember, one of the points is model for your children. How many parents here read? Do your teenagers see you reading? I mean really reading. Studying. Let them see. Thank you very much.